Happy Valentine's Day, y'all, from My Space to Craft. I was invited to a little Valentine's lunch today, and I thought I was going to get to go, and then I found out I had the date wrong for a haircut, so I can't go. But what I can do is stop by and bring a little treat for everybody who is going to the lunch. So I'm gonna run by and buy some chocolates and then make a little tag. I think I don't need more than 5. It might only be 4, but I'm gonna make 5 just in case. So I have a pink scrap here. I have some stamps. One says Valentine's Day, thinking of you, this, and this made with love. This scrap is perfect because it is white on the back, and so then I can put the made with love on the back. I have some little gems here. I might try and use those up. I also have these. I don't love this color on here, so I think I'm going to go with these instead. I have this tag maker, and the nice thing about this tag maker is you can make it as long as you want, because I checked this and this, and it's a little too long to fit on my other little tag punch. So I'm gonna make it a little longer. Let's see, will this be long enough? I think this would be long enough. And you can also make these different widths. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 2.5 inches wide on this. I think I can do that. Let's see where we're going to land on this. So my plan is 2.5 inches. Let's see if that will work. I have this stencil and I have some Lunar Paste, so I'm gonna put that on there. I'm just going to make these, keep these super simple, y'all. I'm not going overboard because I don't have a lot of time to go overboard. Let me get that all the way in. Make sure it's centered. Super cute, and that will work. And then I also have loads of this twine, so we're going to use that. All right, so that's 2.5 inches. Let's make some more. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and it'll be the same. I'm gonna go just inside the 2.5 inches because that one was a little tight fitting. Trying not to waste too much paper. Oh yeah, that fits better. Just inside the 2.5 inch mark. 2. And then let's see how long. All right. I'm just going to cut these, and I'll have a little bit of waste, but that's okay. Just inside of 2.5 inches. Just inside of 2.5 inches. All right, so that will go back into my scrap bin. And then I've got some ends, but I will just make them. So that's 4. I think that's all I need. I really don't want to show up there without enough. I might make one more just in case. Let's cut these down to length so everybody is getting the same. All right, let's see where that's going. All right, I am going to stamp first. And I think I'm going to stamp and emboss. And the question is, let's do one more. This will be a little more narrow though. This is a just in case. That's a just in case. This is a fun way to use up your scraps and get creative. All right. So I want to, because I want it to look, you know, a little special, but not anything crazy. So, and I want to do the stenciling, but I don't think that my embossing or my stamping would show up, would stick on top of this Lunar Paste. So if I want to, I want it dark. I could do it on like a platinum or a silver. I know I used to have silver embossing powder, but I can't. Here it is. Found it. Silver embossing powder. Well, we're going to do that. So that means I could stamp in, I'm going to stamp in Versamark. I think that's my best bet. And I'm going to use my stamp platform. Oops. Sorry about that, y'all. Accidentally hit the button on my... I'm going to use my stamping platform so that I can be consistent and stamp it a couple times. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to line up, use this sticky mat. This I will just put on the back in black or gray. See that it works that way, but this is too long and I'm not going to mess with it. So we're going to go sideways. I'm not going to get too fancy. Ooh, these are not picking up. What have I done? Oh, that's because it is on rubber. If you just watch my tool video, this is another good use for something like this, because if you use your fingers, they're sticky. So using something like this or the tip of a pencil even is helpful. See, now that lifted up. So I want to let's double check. Yes. All right. Versamark. I will do the first one with you on each step, and then I will cut away to when that step is complete. We're gonna, as I said, do this a couple times. Though the May Made It stamps are really nice. They tend to stamp really well. But I want to make sure I'm getting really good coverage. All right. Then I get out my handy dandy coffee filter that I use for embossing. Take this over here. Sprinkle the silver. Which is a little lumpy. This is my oldest embossing powder, I think, but it seems to last forever. Now, one thing I forgot to do is powder this before I stamped, so I'll remember that for the other ones. But I think that's okay. Let me go heat emboss this and we'll come back and look at it. So that's the first one, but you can see a little silver splash on there. So let's do one more and do it the proper way. This is my location that I like. Now I don't want to get all this powder all over my sticky pad. Let's see. First mark. Let's see if this one comes out a little better. All right, let's go. Much better, and we have much less of the powder. I'm not sure if you can see that. But it's not going to matter because I'm adding other stuff to this. So let me finish doing all of this stamping and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, let's move on to the next step. First, let's clean up our mess so we don't get embossing powder absolutely everywhere. And since I had trouble finding this, this is going to go back on my proper shelf. Let's see. Put this away. Don't need this anymore. I'm going to do the other stamping that I want to do before I start doing mixed media, which will take a little while to dry. So this goes in here with this. So I just want to stamp on the back, made with love. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and still use this. I'm just going to do this on this one. Now this may not stick as well because it's embossed. You know what? We're going to take a risk and we're just going to use this instead of the platform because it's the back side and I'll just sign it. So I'm going to do this across the top and then I can sign my name. So let's try and get this on there straight-ish. All right, now what color would I think I'm just going to do it in black, and I'm going to use for stamping words where I want really crisp lines. I really like VersaFine Clair, or I could, you know what, don't I have, no, I don't. I thought I had VersaFine Clair in gray, but that's a different brand, and I love this one. They're looking at it like this and it's hanging. I think think I need to do it this way. Yeah. Now let's get these cleaned up before I forget about them. My little filthy rag that's about due for a wash. All right. My Made with Love. It's just going to sit up here, and these go back in my May Made It set, which I don't know what I've done with. Oh, here's my. All right, now then. Now I think we're ready for some more decoration, but I don't want to cover this, so I think I'm going to do some hearts and stuff. I'm not sure I want to take this big one off, so I'm going to put a smaller one down that is a little easier to wash. You can see it's well loved. All right. I need a palette knife. If I were my palette knife, where would I be? I do have this one, but I need a small. I got this. This one's from Simon Hurley, and I've got this. I think this might be the answer. So I'm going to do some on the end, like here. Some on each end. That's what I think I'm going to do. And maybe a hint of them up here. Yep. Without obscuring the message. Get that really smooth. Let's see how that's looking. Well, it's a little messy on the edges, but I'm okay with that. All right, and let's do a little bit different positioning. I think there. That might work better if I know I have this edge. I just don't want to go over that edge, do I? Well, it's smushing out a little bit, but that's okay. We're gonna do some more here. All right, I'm just gonna set that aside. Let's get some more. All right, I liked how that worked a little better. I'm gonna wipe this up. So we're going to go like this. That way I don't have to avoid anything for the lines. Oh, that came out much better. All right, so one's going to be really sloppy. I need to do it like this. All right, we're learning as we go. Oh, that looks so much better. I really like that. Okay. Just sped this part up so you don't have to watch this whole step, but besides making a mess, this process worked a lot better. So it came out a lot cleaner when I positioned it on the edge and made sure the backside was pretty clean. I did wipe it off once or twice on the backside, and just, I mean, the technique isn't any different than what I used on the first one. I just found the position that worked and my technique got a little better. And this is the last one. So while those dry, I'm going to go off and clean all of this stuff. It is important that you wash these right away because this stuff dries into plastic. All right, so they're all drying, and I have this Distress Spritz. It's picked raspberry, so it's pink. So I think I'm going to do some of that while it's drying. We're gonna just, I feel like maybe it's all that, because I want to make like these little mess ups here look not so unnatural. All right. And now, of course, I can't find my little gems that I wanted to use. Where are my little gems that were on a little piece of... This is the problem with a messy desk. I know I had them. Let's see what else I have in the way of gems. I have these little silver gems. We might just use these because I have them and I have plenty. Yeah. Okay with that. Let's do two over here. One down here. 2. There's a little more room on this one down here. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3. And do I want this or do I want silver? I think I want silver. I'm going to use silver thread instead of this because this is too rustic. So let's see. How do I want to do this? And it's still not quite dry, but it's getting there. I can do that. Let's make it pretty long enough that I can tie it around something. Let's make it all the same. Or tape it onto something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I could keep going and do more and more and more, but I think I'm happy with those. They're bold. I mean, it's just a tag to go on a little thing of chocolates. So there you have it. Let's look at one that I like close up. And this Lunar Paste is a little shimmery, adds a little fun, and the back is a little messy, but I'm okay. All right, thanks a lot, you guys.